Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dwayne Kimball, United States Army veteran. Today I'm bringing you another educational video as it pertains to the VA's claims process as a former VA raider. Now, today's topic. We all know the VA, about a year and a half ago, they proposed diagnostic code criteria changes for tinnitus, sleep apnea, and the general rating criteria for mental conditions. Now, if those are implemented, those proposed changes are implemented, if you are already service connected for those conditions, can it impact you? Today's video, I'm going to share the regulations that will answer that question. Make sure you stick around. Okay, everyone, let's go ahead and get into it. So we all know about the changes, or should know about the proposed changes that came out about a year and a half ago. I've been hearing a lot of veterans say, hey, I watched this video, I watched that video, and they're saying that they're going to propose these changes this year. Tinnitus, they're going to include with bilateral hearing loss, so you're no longer going to be able to get the 10% for tinnitus. The 50% criteria for sleep apnea, for a CPAP machine, goes away. They're changing all of the criteria for the mental conditions. Now, they say it's supposed to be easier. I went out and looked at it, and as a former raider, I feel they just made it harder, okay? Now, if you are already service connected for tinnitus at 10%, sleep apnea at 50%, and let's just say PTSD at 70, or even maybe 100, okay? And you have no plans on coming in and touching those particular conditions. Will these changes, if implemented, affect you? And the answer is no, they will not. And I'm going to share the regulations to back that up. So it's just not me saying it. Now, before I get into these slides, if you're not service connected for any of those things and you're thinking about it, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the next business day, first thing you need to do, call 800-827-1000, do the intent to file. Then you need to get those claims in ASAP. I'm talking about within the next 30 days. Do what you have to do if you want to claim these things. If you want to claim them. I'm just saying if. I'm not saying go out and claim them. If you have been thinking about claiming them, get them in. And especially for the mental condition, if you are at a lower percentage and you feel you warrant a higher percentage, you need to get that claim for increase in right now, okay? And when I go over these regulations, you'll see exactly why. Stop dragging your feet. If they implement these changes in the next, say, 90, 120 days and you didn't get that claim in, I'm not going to feel sorry for you because you saw this video, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. Slide number 1. Here's slide number 1. This is 38 CFR 3.951, preservation of disability rating. Actually, I showed this in a recent video, okay? But I talked about subpart B. We're talking about subpart A. Now, it states readjustment to the scheduler for rating disabilities, okay? That is where all of the diagnostic codes for the diagnoses that the VA service connects. That's what they're talking about, okay? So give you an example, musculoskeletal, it talks about the bones and the muscles, the joints, okay? Let's say neurological, it talks about, it has the migraines, it has TBI, it has the median nerve, the sciatic nerve, stuff like that, okay? That's what they're talking about, schedule for rating disabilities. Shall not be ground. So again, readjustment to the schedule of ratings of disabilities. So what we're talking about, the schedule for rating disabilities for tinnitus, sleep apnea, and the mental conditions shall not be grounds for reduction of a disability rating in effect on the date of the readjustment unless medical evidence establishes that the disability to be evaluated has actually improved. Now, let's just say the VA comes out and says, okay, as of June 1st, 2024, any claims received on June 21st, 2024 or after fall under the new schedule rating disabilities criteria. And we all know what those are for tinnitus, sleep apnea, and the mental condition. They gave it to us over a year ago. And I think they did it because like, okay, I'm putting you on notice, all right? So if you already have, let's just say 10% for tinnitus, 50% for sleep apnea, and you're at 70 or 100% for any mental condition, you say that's the highest I feel I deserve for that condition, you're good to go. You are good to go, all right? Let's keep going. Slide number 2. Here's slide number 2. This is the M21 manual reference. Talks about protection against rating schedule changes under, I just gave you that 38 CFR. And what did I say? Subpart A. Here you go. They're talking about subpart A. Now, it says 38 CFR 3.951, subpart A provides that a readjustment to the schedule for rating disability should not be grounds for reduction of disability ratings in effect. Now, I'm not going to read the whole what I have highlighted here in red because I just read it to you. Okay, so what I do, I go to the M21 manual reference and I use it like a Google search. And when I use it like a Google search, guess what it gives me? It gives me the 38 CFR, because if you go to the 38 CFRs, you are going to be in the twilight zone, a black hole. It is a lot of these 38 CFRs, okay? But when you go to the M21 manual reference, you cut that research time down, all right? Now, let's keep going. Slide number 3. It states reviewing evaluations after a rating scheduler change. And at the bottom it says, note, the disability evaluation cannot be reduced unless you can show the veteran's condition improved enough to have warranted reduction under the prior schedule. Okay, again, condition improved enough to have warranted reduction under the prior schedule. So basically what they're saying, hey, the veteran must have came in for something, already service connected at a particular percentage. You can't reduce it unless it shows improvement under the prior rating schedule. Okay? Now, I know that may seem a little bit confusing, okay? But let me try to give you an example. Okay, let's use tinnitus, for example, all right? Tinnitus is at 10%. I have never, as a former rater, and never seen when a veteran came in for an increase in tinnitus and they're at 10%. And yes, it actually happens, okay? And a lot of those claims are put in by VSOs and law firms, all right? We would never send that vet for an exam. We'll just confirm and continue it and tell them, hey, this is the max evaluation, okay? But in this case, let's say it changes. The 10% goes away and they're gonna put it tinnitus under hearing loss now. Same thing, confirm and continue it. I'm not gonna send that vet for that exam, but let's jump over to PTSD. The veteran's at 70%, it changes, they go in and try to get an increase to 100. That exam, they can't reduce the veteran. If it shows improvement, it has to show improvement under the prior rating schedule, even though they don't meet the 70% for the new change. It has to show improvement under the old, okay? So that's the best way I can explain it, but leave me a comment if you're still confused about it, okay? Now, what can you, the veteran, do? I already told you one thing. If you're not service connected for tinnitus, if you're not service connected for sleep apnea, if you're trying to get an increase in your PTSD or any other mental condition, you need to be filing that claim ASAP. Get that claim in the books, on the books, before these changes are implemented. I don't know when they're going to implement them. A lot of veterans say, oh, I heard they're going to do it in June. I don't go off of any of that. I go off of it when the VA actually when the VA actually does it. Because it could be another year. They could say, yeah, we're going to implement it this year. And then turn around and not do it and scrap the whole thing. And we got ourselves in an upheaval over nothing. Okay? So what can you do to be proactive? Get those claims in now. If you're trying to go for the increase, again, get it in now. Because what I've seen as a former VA rating specialist, I can remember they did changes for, I think it was hyperthyroidism and hypothyroidism, okay? And it was not in favor of the veteran. Now, you don't see those diagnoses service connected a lot, but some veterans do fall under that criteria, okay? And when they did that, they specifically said, as of this date, any claims received on this date or after, you have to use the new criteria. So that's why I'm going to say it again. I know you're going to get tired of hearing it a third or fourth time. Get those claims in now. Get them in now, get them in now, get them in now, get them in now. Stop dragging your feet. But keep in mind, if you're already at the highest percentage for those conditions, the tinnitus, the sleep apnea, and the mental condition, you're grandfathered in. You're good to go. They're not going to implement these proposed changes and then go back to every veteran that's service-connected for tinnitus, sleep apnea, or even a mental condition to see if your condition is proved. They don't do that, okay? But it could affect you if you try to go in for an increase for that mental condition, all right? Just keep that in mind. If you need to watch this video again, watch it again. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you got any questions. So with that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and don't forget to share this video with your fellow veterans. Remember to go out and pick up my book, VA Claims Success. You can get it on my website at www.kmd89.com. Thank you.